Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to today's market update. Let's take a look at a few charts. In particular, I'm going to look at GBP versus the USD, but also New Zealand dollar versus the USD and gold prices, because we are seeing the dollar starting to strengthen quite a bit, and it looks like the dollar can continue to strengthen over the next few days. So let's begin, and we're going to take a look at, let's begin with something like gold prices, actually. So gold prices is something I shared with you guys last week, and even before that, talking about this massive head and shoulders pattern. Well, that pattern triggered on April 16th, and we went lower for a few days and then tested that breakout point, and now the market continues to move lower, and we just hit a new weekly low. What's interesting is that the initial risk reward ratio was a 5.4, but this can now be reduced, and I think stop loss orders, I think they're fine if they're placed at just above this week's high. So right now, if we would actually hit that target, the effective risk reward ratio on this trade would be 21.4. Now, what is interesting here, though, it's not just here. Look at this is going lower. We already know from the New Zealand dollar versus the USD, because we did an update on this last week. You can see here how New Zealand dollar versus the USD is going lower. So you're seeing dollar strength here as well. At the time when we did the setup, we had a 5.49 times risk reward ratio. Again, I think this could be reduced now. I think people are probably going to put stop loss orders just above the April 18th high. So effective risk reward ratio now is 14.3, which is a solid one. Then you have another pair, and this is the dollar versus the Swissy. Now this was gone under the radar because it was quiet for quite some time, but you have this massive ascending triangle here, and the difference between the sort of midpoint here, let me show you, the difference between this low and this high here is about 400 points, and you can see how the break price took out this level as well on April 17th, and now could potentially rally with another 415 pip. So there's a lot of different setups here to work with. We could work with a corrective move in the New Zealand dollar, could work with a corrective move in gold prices, and could also work with a corrective move here in dollar Swissy. Now, if we look at something like GBP versus the USD, it also looks like it's about to start to trend lower. This itself, if you look at it from a 6-hour chart, I've been bullish for quite some time, as you know, but the market is now challenging my trend defining level, which is the March 10th low. And if you look at this isolated, you can see that this is a descending triangle. You got 1, 2, 3, about 4 lows in the same area, and the price just traded below that level now. And the difference between this point here and this point here is about 298 pip. So it also looks like this market could start to trend lower. Let's see what happens over the next few days and if the euro dollar is going to follow, but it's definitely interesting to see how the markets and the dollar now is finally starting to gain, and we're seeing more and more markets actually starting to move in the favor of the dollar. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to these videos here on YouTube. Thank you.